Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another webinar by Royal Cyber. Our topic for today is CCPA compliance using ServiceNow and OneTrust. My name is Pratik Nilkund, and joining me today is Kapil Khadgi, and will be your speakers for today. Just some housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions, we would request you to please email us on marketing@royalcyber.com and we will be happy to touch base. Now, before we start, I want to talk a little bit about Royal Cyber and today's agenda. So, we are an IT consulting and digital transformation company, and since 2002, we have successfully completed over 1,500 projects for 600 plus happy clients in 5 of the 7 continents, namely North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and Asia, especially some strong work in the Middle East. We have gained significant recognition from our customers and partners worldwide over the years, including some Fortune 500 companies for providing best in class services and solutions across multiple domains. We would, during these testing times, like to focus on helping the community and support businesses by offering 1 month of complimentary services on all our offerings, be it commerce, cloud, mobile, analytics, middleware, robotic process automation, or data governance and privacy. The details of our complimentary services are outlined in our closing slides. So, this is how the agenda looks like for today. We will start with an introduction to CCPA, or California Consumer Privacy Act. Thereafter, we'll look at some of the key considerations that organizations need to look at before operationalizing CCPA. After that, we will look at an integration between a couple of tools, ServiceNow and OneTrust, and how these two can be leveraged to operationalize CCPA compliance within an organization. Post that, we will look at some of our offerings and how we can help in achieving CCPA compliance for an organization. So, CCPA applies to for-profit businesses that do business in California, collects or receives personal information of California residents, and meets just one of these 3 categories, which are, has a gross revenue of over $25 million, collects personal data for 50,000 or more consumers, and obtains at least half of its annual revenues by selling consumers' personal data. The law allows consumers to sue companies for non-compliance with fines of up to $2,500 per violation or $7,500 per intentional violation. To give you a context of the fines, um, if there is a data breach of 10,000 California consumers, it can result in a penalty of $25 million for an unintentional violation or $75 million for an intentional violation. So this is the extent to which a breach or not following the CCPA guidelines can 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 create a damage for a particular company. Now, let us look at some of the provisions under the CCPA. The CCPA takes the position that consumers own their privacy information and provides them 5 general rights for their personal information. So, under the Act, California consumers have the right to know what personal information is collected. So, consumers will have the right to know through a general privacy policy what personal information a business has collected about them, its source, and the purpose for which it is being used. Consumers have the right to stop the sale of their personal information, also known as the right to opt out. Consumers have the right to request certain information from businesses, including the sources from which a business collected the consumer's personal information. And once a request is made, businesses must disclose the requested information free of charge and within 45 days. Consumers can request that their personal information be deleted. So, some personal information is exempt from deletion requests, especially if it is required for performing a contract with the consumer. It is also required that a consumer not be discriminated for exercising their rights under the Act. So let us look at what is the definition of personal information. So the CCPA defines PI as all consumer identifiers. This can include names, account names, and mailing or emailing addresses. Also, social security, driver licensing, and passport numbers, to name a few. The law also protects customer online metrics. So this includes search and browsing histories as well as email addresses. Anything that reflects consumers' preferences, characteristics, predispositions, attitudes, intelligence, or psychological trends is protected under the CCPA. So these are the few key considerations that a company should look at before operationalizing CCPA. It falls in one of the two sections. The first section is what you need to know, and the second section is what you need to be able to do. So some of the questions that need to be looked upon are, a company needs to determine what specific pieces of information is being collected about a consumer. It requires to perform an audit on the analytics tags and pixel placements. Also, to identify the destinations data is being sent to via tags and pixels. It is very necessary to locate where data is stored and document what data is stored there. And this is generally done through the data mapping process. It is important to document the mechanisms by which a company shares, collects, and uses data. Uh, it is also required to understand what information or what personal information is sold, uh, you know again within for business or for commercial purposes. So this is something that companies should look at, and also to identify what parties are involved with the selling of data as identified, or as defined by the CCPA. A company should also be able to create a process to honor do not sell requests. They need to typically set up a web form on their website for consumers to uh, enter or request or exercise their CCPA rights. It is also required that the company trains all employees about all these different rights and the processes for every type of request. As mentioned, it is the burden lies on the company to act on a customer request in 45 days, and provide reasons in case of delays without placing any charges to the customer. Um, now, uh, generally, it is required that a company keep record of all sales of consumer information for up to 12 months to not discriminate against consumers who exercise their individual rights. Uh, one important aspect of opting out is a company needs to have a do not sell my personal information link on on somewhere on the homepage of the website, and to include privacy policy and toll free numbers to submit individual rights. So once all these points are taken care of, it is ensured that the company is on the right track, and just on its way to be 100% CCPA compliant. Um, just just a visualization of what will soon follow. The states marked in purple are the states where privacy laws have been passed already, whereas the ones marked in blue are states where privacy laws have been proposed, and the states marked in gray are the ones where there is no privacy law either passed or proposed yet. But um, this is there's a saying that California goes, so goes the nation, and it's widely anticipated that a lot of other states will have some of the other privacy laws in the coming years, and or maybe there will be an increased push towards a federal privacy law, um, something which is unique to the whole of United States of America. So having said that, I would like to ask Kabil Kadgi to chime in and explain a few ways of how CCPA can be operationalized, and how can we leverage ServiceNow and OneTrust to operationalize CCPA compliance within an organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Pratik, for a nice overview of the CCP and how it affects the different organization. So from there, so let's take a look at the ServiceNow and CCPA, and so we'll try to identify the number of challenges that we have. So the very first challenge is how to make sure the compliance of the data. So when you have the service now, you have multiple business application assets maintained into ServiceNow. And if you have the OneTrust or the tool like OneTrust, then you definitely want to have all the assets and all the business application information centralized into one portal. So that's one of the challenge. And then how to deal with the CCPA when there are multiple business applications. This is like same stuff that we are talking like, and this is not just about the multiple business application, but let's say you have multiple different portals or source which is maintaining different applications. So definitely you have ServiceNow, maybe you have some other system, maybe there are some business applications that does not have entry anywhere. So you need to have all those centralized at one place. And then within the organization, how to manage different incident requests raised for the privacy related concerns. So this is, let's say if I'm a customer, and then as a customer I come to your organization and say, hey, I want to delete all my information, or maybe what I would say is like, hey, I want to get all the information about me that you're maintaining right now. So if that happens, then that request has to get circulated within the organization, whether it's a service now, whether it's a manual request at some system or server, or if there is another portal or a system that has this particular information. So there has to be some incident management that should happen within the organization. So we'll see like how to deal with these two different challenges. One challenge that is how to have the different asset information centralized. The second is when we have the request from the customer, how to deal with those requests. I'll move to the next slide. So this is what we talked. So the demo, I'm going to jump to the demo instance, and the demo will consist of how to the asset sync and how to manage the incident sync within OneTrust and ServiceNow. Let me pull the instance. So I'll be using the one demo instance of ServiceNow, and I have one instance in OneTrust itself. So this is like when you go into data mapping and you have the assets. So I see like there are two different assets maintained here that is within OneTrust. If I go to ServiceNow, I can simply search here business applications. I have marked it as a favorite, so I see those right here. But otherwise, you'll see like self-service and business application. If I go here into this business application, I will see all the business applications or all the assets those are maintained within the organization, within the organization. So this could be like any software or any sort of an application that is installed anywhere on the server or anywhere. So let's create one new business application, and then we'll see like how this business application can get synced with the ServiceNow. So I have done this sync already. I'll just show you like how it works. How it works as a real-time sync. So I'll name it as a test business business app, and I'll have some other detail information. I'll just focus on the mandatory information at this point. So the description, this is a design application that helps to edit images. And so other information you can put like status, whether it's in production, whether it's a pilot retired, or what exactly we are doing with this application. Technology stack, you can mention all the other information. So I'll just give some information here, just sort of random information. And then I will say who is the owner. So I'll say, in this case, let's put administrator. And you'll see like there's a third tab added here which says like OneTrust privacy fields. So as you install this integration into ServiceNow, or the add-on into ServiceNow, the OneTrust add-on into ServiceNow, you'll see this third tab into business application. So what it requires is whether it's hosted. So whether it's hosted is right now is United States, and I'll just keep this really simple or minimum information, and then I will go and say submit. So now we created test business app here. I will go into OneTrust and I will just go and refresh this. So it's a real-time sync, and it's a bidirectional sync. So any changes that you do into business application, those will definitely go and reflect here. It also, you will see like test business app that we just created. If I go here, we'll be able to see the details. Again, it's up to us like how many details we want to maintain here, but it will just maintain those minimum details that are required. Now so this is how the business application will work. If I go into the assets, if I go into ServiceNow and make any changes into the name or anything, those changes will also reflect into OneTrust. So this is like one example which has ServiceNow to OneTrust syncs, but at the same, in the realistic scenario, you'll have lot of other sources of application, other sources that has all this information will be synced into OneTrust. I'll go back to the presentation file here. So that's the asset sync. Now we'll see like the incident management, and that's a second use case that we have. So what I will do is, now let's say the second use case is, um, there's a request coming from the client to delete the information, or there is a request saying customer, hey, I have maybe you have some application, or that customer is existing customer and he wants to delete some information, so you can put the request. Now in order to put that request into OneTrust, we have the data subject request. I'll go here and we'll select the request option. Definitely the users, customers will have different form or different way to access this, but we'll say like create request. We'll just create one sample request here, and you can see the number of templates available here. All those forms you can generate, or you can create based on the templates. So all those templates can be managed here in the web forms. So I have a predefined template here for the forms. And so what it will do is, hey, I'm existing customer, I want to delete the data deletion, and I'll set some information here. And so this should actually trigger a email. Should actually trigger the email to the customer, and then I will request, hey, please delete the all the information from system. So this will so ultimately what we are trying to say is like, hey, delete all the information, and this is like customer will never know like now what all system that we are using in the organization. So they'll just put all this simple generic request, which I will submit here. Once that is submitted, I'll go back to OneTrust, and now this is where the whole workflow, actually the logical workflow, will start. Once the request comes in, we have to know how many assets are there, how many business applications are installed, where are those applications, and then in some cases you will say like, hey, please delete that information. So this is the request that just came through, and so you'll see there is a default client information. There's one task or one tab here. You'll select subtask, and this subtask is actually will have all the tasks. Those fall into deletion of any specific data. So this is like default form. I don't have any predefined subtask at this moment, but you can always have the predefined subtask defined into the template itself. What I'm going to do is I'll just go and click on system task, and then I will say please delete, or I'll say like delete paste app info, and the system will be of course we are talking about ServiceNow right now, and then you'll see like there are integration workflows. So these workflows are is kind of one of the workflow that I have as a predefined workflow, but you can have multiple workflows defined within the system, and each and every workflow will have multiple steps. So we'll go with this default one at this point, and we'll say task, hey, please delete my information from paste app, and we'll say send this information. So this is what we are doing right now, is like one of the tasks that we are creating into OneTrust. This is kind of a ticket that we are creating. So this maybe this needs some manual intervention, but at the same time, as a centralized location, you want to maintain all those incidents and all those activities of all the data related stuff into here. So now we just created this particular ticket here, or subtask. Now if I go back to ServiceNow instance, I have the filter already. I'll just go and refresh the list, and I should see that task, the task that we just created. If you see here, that same task that got created into ServiceNow. So I'll just click on this one, and you'll see the basic information. Please delete my information from test app. So that's the description. Again, all the information that you want to push from OneTrust to ServiceNow, that is configurable. So if you want to add more information here, you can always do that. So what we'll do is, like, in response, we'll say, hey, okay, this is resolve. We have deleted this information. We have deleted all all information for this customer. And so once this is like, right now, this is like a manual step, like someone has to go and delete. At the same time, you can also actually assign this ticket to someone else. So if there's a separate person responsible to do this particular task or perform this task, then that can also be done. And now I have the notes. So what I'll say is, I'm going to say the resolution code. This is like solved work around, or I'll say like solve permanently, and then we'll say resolve. Now, the moment I will say resolve, like I'm making some changes here in the state. So I'll go back to ServiceNow and I'll go into activities. Now, if you see, like, there are few here activities already defined here, and I will go and refresh this. So whatever we do in terms of a ticket, I'll just go back here into the ticket. So what we said, like, okay, we have actually did the resolution. I can also go and add some notes here. So I'll say, hey, I just deleted this particular thing here. And now what I will say is close this particular incident. So we have like resolved this, but we haven't closed it. So as soon as I close it, and if I go here, I'll just go and refresh this particular request. So if you logically, what happened, and I'll reiterate the whole process, like as a customer raised a request, and then once the customer raised a request, that request form has like multiple subtasks. One of the subtasks was to delete the customer information from the taste app. And so we created a subtask, and that subtask got created as an incident into ServiceNow. Now someone from the IT desk is going to resolve work on this. Once that task is closed, we'll get this notification saying like, hey, we have deleted all the information. And if I go into the subtask now, I should see, like, the status is complete. So this is like, once you close the ticket from ServiceNow, this is like status will change into OneTrust also. So this is like really short demo, but if I want to go further or beyond this, I can definitely go here and say like ServiceNow, and within ServiceNow, you can have multiple different combinations, multiple different actions, and multiple different actions you can explore. At the same time, if I go into connections here, I'll just show you the real quick the connection that we have here. This is all kind of configured. This is the kind of workflow. If I click on this workflow, so this workflow that I selected during creating a ticket or incident for ServiceNow, and you will see like there are different actions already defined here. So whenever you create a ticket, it will actually go and create the ticket into ServiceNow, and it also gets the details of the ticket at the same time from ServiceNow to OneTrust, so that this is the bi-directional sync that happens between these two platforms. You can always go and add more and more actions based on the REST API. So that bidirectional will work as per the organization needs. So going back to the presentation, we seen like how we can sync the assets, how you can maintain the incident management within OneTrust, and then you can have the collaboration with the ServiceNow. Now what is the achievement of all this? One thing is address the CCPA with specialized and trusted tool and team. As a ServiceNow, as a ServiceNow person, probably you will not have only one ServiceNow platform within the organization. You'll have the multiple platforms. So in order to have the data within some centralized portal, you can always have the specialized tool like trusted OneTrust, and then you can sync all those assets and business application at one place. And definitely then you have the specialized team that will just take care of all the requests and responses to the customers. They want customers, those who want either want to delete or want just an info. Bring the organization data in one centralized space. That's we already talked about. Seamless integration that will let IT team to work on their tickets without worrying of CCPA compliance, and let the governance and privacy team take care of it. This is like separation of things. The one trust will team will take care of CCPA and addressing all the requests of the customers, and then the IT team can really work on their actual IT work. And this saves a lot of time. By doing all this integration, it saves a lot of time. So consider the scenario when you don't have this integration in place. So what you will do is, like, when you will get the request from the customer about any inquiry, either to delete or get the information, you will have to just send that into an email to some IT person, and then ideal person will just create a ticket manually, and then once the status is updated or the task is completed, probably you'll get the notification back. So that's a manual process, and which take a lot of efforts and the tracking. So all that can be saved through this integration. Now, so that those are all the advantages. Now, what is the next step? So as a Royal Cyber, we do have some suggestions, and how the things that we can help different organization with CCPA compliance. So um, so what we can do, right, as Royal Cyber, is our team of experts. We have the expert team from both the platforms, OneTrust and ServiceNow. And if you don't have those expertise within your organization, if you have any concerns or if you want to address those concerns, then our team can really come to your place and help you on both the platforms, and at the same time we can try to address all those all those concerns that or all these issues for CCPA compliance. Now that will be 1 to 2 days of assessment generally, but it totally depends on not just the readiness of the environment, but also in terms of like how many different systems you have, and what all the business applications you have, the how the data is scattered along to or along many systems. So it depends on that factor. The other part is the identify organization specific needs and assessment. So if you have any organization specific needs, that we can also address. So if you have, as I said, like if you have multiple systems, we can try to design some workflows and help you identify the privacy issues. Identify any CCP compliance necessary steps that are must for the organization. This is one of the pain point for lots of organization. They don't have an expertise on CCPA. Like they don't have expertise who can tell, like, do this and so you'll be compliant. Do that, so you'll be fine with the CCPA. So our team of an expert can help you that we can guide you through, like, what all things you should take within your organization to address those CCPA compliance or make your organization CCPA compliant. We can help to educate the business leader. That's the point, actually, to know understand the CPA and how it will affect your organization. And So what we have here is 30 days of monitoring and support for the integration between OneTrust and ServiceNow. So all these 2 points that I mentioned here, like configuration of the apps and the business and the identify the organization specific needs, all that can be all that will be a complementary services from Royal Cyber. And of course we are here to help you and make sure you don't get fall into the CCPA uncompliance or any compliance issues. So we can help you there. Any questions or anything, any information, if you need any organization, like your organization specific questions, if you have any questions, or if you want us to come to your place and solve your specific use case, we are always there to help you. So with that, if you have any questions or anything, please do send that at marketing@royalcyber.com. Thank you all.